Hello, and welcome to another Tabletop Ramblings Middle-earth strategy battle game battle reports. Today's 400-point game is between Suladan's Serpent Horde of Harad and Prince Imrahil's Fiefdoms and Minas Tirith alliance. The Serpent Horde, led by Suladan, and he has with him 12 warriors with spear. Suladan is backed up by the Betrayer. He's mounted on a horse and he has with him 11 warriors with bow and 1 raider with bow. And that is 400 points of the Serpent Horde. Leading the forces of good is Prince Imrahil. He's mounted on a armoured horse and he has a lance. And with him is 1 clansman of Lamden and 4 of the Swan Knights on foot. Minas Tirith have sent a force led by Ingold to support Imrahil, and that is Ingold with 5 warriors of Minas Tirith with shield, 1 with spear and shield, 1 with a banner, spear and shield, and 4 rangers with spear. And that is 400 points of Minas Tirith and Fiefdoms. This is the board for today's game. It's quite an open desert style board with some light shrubs, some rocks, and a cactus. The armies are already set up because today's scenario is Assassination. For this game, each player has to secretly nominate an assassin that is not their leader, which for us is very, very simple because each army only has 1 hero other than the leader. So the assassin has to be the Shadow Lord for evil and Ingold for good. Then they have to choose a target, which is an enemy hero that's not the leader, which again means it's got to be Ingold and the Shadow Lord. And the game is basically kill your target and try and use your assassin to do that. Most of the victory points are for that assassination. You get 1 point if you can wound your target, 3 if it's your assassin that wounds the target, and you get 5 for killing your target and 7 if it's your assassin that has killed the target. You also gain 1 point for wounding the enemy leader and 2 for killing the enemy leader, and 1 point for breaking the enemy and 3 if you can break them while remaining unbroken yourself. This game ends randomly on a 1 or a 2 after one side has broken. Deployment is anywhere up to the halfway mark, and as you can see, the Fiefdoms Gondor list have deployed right up on that halfway line, whereas Suladan and the Shadow Lord have held their warriors back so that they can get some bow shots. With both forces deployed, let's roll for turn 1 priority. Evil will be the red dice and good will be the green dice. And turn 1 priority there is a draw. And this time it is a 6 for good and a 3 for evil. So Minas Tirith and Fiefdoms will move first. End of good move, and all of the infantry have advanced, while Ingold has melted back to the rear of the formation along with Imrahil to hide from bowfire. In evil movement, the entire formation is going to stay still, ready to volley off their arrows in the shoot phase. But just before the movement phase ends, the Betrayer is going to use 3 will to drain the will from Imrahil. It goes off on a 5 and it has gone off on a 6. So Imrahil has been susceptible to that spell. Now he's going to lose D3 will unless he resists. So it's a bit of a conundrum as to whether he wastes will trying to resist. If he fails, then he's guaranteed to lose it all. So he's going to risk it. He's going to allow it to happen. He's not going to waste any will on a resist, and he's just going to allow the D3 to see how much will he loses. Oh, and that was the wrong decision. That 6 means he's lost all 3 of his will. The other option would have been to try and burn all his will and get the resist it with a natural 6, or who knows really what to do there. But either way, he has lost all 3 will. Comment below if you think he should have done something different. So before the Haradrim volley, the Betrayer is going to activate his Master of Poison special rule. This allows all models within 6 inches that have poison to reroll all failed wound rolls instead of just rerolling ones. So hopefully this volley will be lethal, assuming that any of their arrows can hit the mark. They've not moved, so they're hitting on 4s. First off, we're going to do these 4 and the Zebra Riding Raider shooting straight into Ingold. Because of the angle, these guys will have an in the way for this chap and the Spearman, and then into Ingold. So it's 4 guys on foot and 1 Raider. Hitting on 4s, that's 2 hits. So do they get past this chap in front? 1 does and 1 doesn't. So on him, needing 6s. Oh, he's in shield wall, so 6s by 4s. No, but re-rolling failed wounds to a 1, but you can't re-roll a re-roll. So then the one that hits him, does it hit him or does it keep going? It keeps going, so it's hit Ingold. So wounding Ingold on 6s by 4s. So no, but re-rolling for the poison, it's a 6. 6s by 4. No, it's a 2, but you can re-roll this one. Oh, it's a 1. Gutted. He very nearly got a wound very early on there, but he has survived that. So then we have 3. This time, still on Ingold, but they'll be slightly different in the ways. Only 1 hit though. Does it hit that chap in front? No. Does it hit the Ranger? No, it's hit Ingold. 6s by 4s. It's a 6. 6s by 4. It's a wound. Ingold has taken a wound. He is going to use his fate now. He's not going to save it for later because he does not want to take any wounds. And he has saved it. So that's no wounds on Ingold. We then have the last 4 shots. They are shooting at Ingold as well. And that's going to be an in the way for him and the Ranger from that angle. There's just 1 hit. It goes through the chap in front. Does it go through the Ranger? Yes, on Ingold. Not quite. It needs the 6, but it can be re-rolled. It's the 6. 6s by 4. No. But this is another dice, so it can be re-rolled. And it's a wound. That is Ingold taking 2 wounds to bowfire. Through all of the in the ways, he has taken 2 wounds. 1 saved by fate, but that only leaves him with 1 left. For an early advantage there to the Haradrim. The Hasherin Assassin interrupts this video to say 2 for 1 on all assassinations for those that like, comment and subscribe. Subject to availability, terms and conditions may apply. Early advantage to the Haradrim. Let's roll for turn 2 priority. And this time it goes to evil. With evil priority, before anything moves, the evil Betrayer is going to cast a spell. And he is going to cast Black Dart on Ingold. Ingold, who only has 1 wound remaining. Now, the Betrayer is a rubbish spellcaster and he needs a 6 for this to go off. So he's going to throw 6 will into this Black Dart. Oh, and it has gone off. So with just 1 will, Ingold needs to save it. And he does, and it's free. That is a very, very nice bit of luck there for Ingold and the forces of good. End of the move phase, and the evil force with priority stayed still to maximise their shooting. And then in the movement phase for good, Imrahil, who is the only one in charge range, has ploughed through and engaged the archer spear wall. He has been protected by a V shape of his infantry, and Ingold taking cover at the back, trying to get into combat without getting shot to bits on his way. Into the shoot phase, and the Betrayer is going to use one of his 4 remaining points of will to activate his Poison Master special rule. And then these 4 here, either side of the Imrahil combat, are going to fire. They're going to fire into that combat and see if they can take out Imrahil's horse. How many hit? Just 2 hits. Friend or foe. They both hit Imrahil, horse or rider. They both hit Imrahil himself. 6s by 4s. Nothing, re-rolling all failed wounds. Oh, there's a 6. 6s by 4. And there is a wound on Imrahil. He's going to roll fate, which he fails. He'll roll his other fate and fail it. His 3rd fate, which passes. So he is now out of fate. Not bad for 2 little archers there. We'll then come across to these 2 guys here firing on Ingold. This guy has a clean shot with no in the ways. He does hit. It's 6s by 4s. He doesn't wound, but he can re-roll failed wounds. No wound. Then this chap, same target. He hits. Does he hit the guy in front? Yes, he does. He needs 6s by 4s because he's in shield wall. That was a 3, so no, but he can re-roll to a 6. 6s by 4. And it kills him. Master of Poisons there, getting the kill. We'll then come across and we have these last 4. Again, into Ingold. Really looking to do some damage here. 3 hits, it's a good start. Do they hit the chap in front? 2 hit the guy in front. Let's see if they kill him. It's, a 6 there. And re-rolling. No, so it's a 6. 6s by 4. Kills him. He is dead. We then have the arrow that went through. Does it hit the ranger? Yes, it does hit the ranger. And on the 5, it has killed him. He's only defense 4. So that is 3 dead Gondorians to the shooting. Not too bad. And 3 points of fate off Imrahil as well. So a good volley of shooting, but they didn't manage to get Imrahil. They killed everyone in the way, but they couldn't quite break Imrahil. So after that shooting, it's the combat phase. There's just one combat, and that is Prince Imrahil charging into the 2 archers with spear support. So it's going to be 4 attacks on the charge against 4 attacks. Imrahil does have the fight value, but it should be noted that there is a banner on the back of Suladan. He doesn't have it modelled on him because this is the original metal model from the magazines way back when, but it is innately in his profile and isn't an option, so he definitely has the banner even though you can't see it. So we'll just pretend it's an inspiring presence that's giving that benefit. So we'll let Evil set the bar. They get a 5, do their banner now, to a 4. So Imrahil looking to beat a 5. He gets the 6, easily wins that fight, and he's going to punch on through. So the first guy, he is strength 4, defense 4, so he's wounding on 4s down to 3s with that lance. Murderizes the first guy and the second. So that's both of those archers dead. End of turn 2, and the brave Gondorians have weathered the hail of arrows and are about to charge into combat. Let's roll for turn 3 priority. And it goes to evil. Start of turn 3 move, and with evil priority, Ingold is going to call a heroic move. And the Betrayer is going to counter. So it's a roll off. On a 1, 2, 3 it goes to evil, and on a 4+ it goes to good. Oh, and it's the 1. So the Betrayer will move first. He's going to call with me, and that is everybody there within 6 inches getting to move first. End of that heroic move, and most of the Gondorians have been charged. Everyone had to stay within 6 inches of the Betrayer, so they couldn't quite get the 2 sides. But importantly, they've trapped Imrahil with Suladan getting into combat, and they've managed to get someone into Ingold to try and get a flash wound which will kill him, although that guy is all by himself, as that chap is not spear supporting. He's in on Imrahil. So we'll come back after Good have finished off what little movement they have left. End of the movement phase, and the few good warriors that were able to move have just come around the sides to try and pincer the Horde of Haradrim, break through and try and surround them. There will be no shooting, as all of the bowmen are in combat, so we'll get straight into the fight phase. One last thing before the fight starts. The Betrayer is going to use Master of Poisons, leaving him with just 2 will remaining. Start of the combat phase then, and we'll start off with this 2-on-1. The Forces of Good win on fight value, but Suladan's banner inspires him to roll a 1. So Good have won, and they're wounding on 5s, and they kill that Haradrim. A good start to the combat phase there. We then have a Haradrim against the Clansman of Leyndon, backed up by a Spearman. So the Clansman is 2-handing, which is definitely overkill. He'll be the purple. Oh, purple's off the table. To a 6, which is then down to a 5. So it's possible for the banner to have an effect, but no. So they are now wounding on 5s, but 4s for the Clansman. And that is a 6 from the 2-handed weapon there, killing another Haradrim, fully securing this flank. That's exactly what the Forces of Good wanted, as long as the centre can hold. So we'll do this one here. It's a 2-on-1. The Warrior of Minas Tirith is going to shield. Oh, and it pays off, although there is still the banner, but it doesn't work. Oh, in fact, it doesn't pay off at all. That's evil, isn't it? Dear me. So they are wounding. He's unable to get shield wall. They are wounding on 6s, and it's re-rolling failed wounds. Oh, not quite. There's the 6. They've killed the Warrior of Minas Tirith. Then next we have a 2-on-2. Although we are not quite going to do that. Oh yes, in fact, he'll still be trapped. So yeah, we can do that. Imrahil will still be trapped even if he dies. So it's 2-on-2. The Warriors of Minas Tirith have lost, but they are within range of their banner. But it's still a 2, so they have lost. We then have 2 guys wounding those 2, prioritising the Spearmen 6s, and they need, well, in fact, can probably back away to get shield wall, although irrelevant against strength 3. It's still 6s. Re-rolling failed wounds. Oh, there's a 6. That one's cocked. So we'll roll that. We're re-rolling for cocked, which doesn't count. So then re-rolling for poison. To a 6. Both of them go down. That is massive there for the Forces of Good, punching a hole straight through the centre. We'll then do this one here. It's Ingold with a banner, which will roll in a different colour. The banner can be purple. against the bowman who's going to stab. He's lost. There's nothing he can do because of the fight value of Ingold. And Ingold has killed him. Strength 4. Wounding on 4s. He is dead. We then have a one-on-one here, the spearman. But first off, we'll do this 4-on-1 because he's trapped. It's evil priority. So they're doing the combats that's in an order that's best for evil. So that chap is definitely going to shield. It's not enough, but he can banner. No, it's a 2. So he is trapped. So the Haradrim will back away. Oh, which in fact they would need to do anyway because of Ingold. And they're wounding on 6s. He is trapped. Oh, he's dead. There we go. He is dead. We then have 2-on-1. That guy is going to... Oh, he's going to shield at least while the Poison Master is still up. It's a draw, so he wins on fight value, pushing them back. We then have this one-on-one here. This time the warrior, the Knight of Dol Amroth is going to fight it. Dear me, he's lost. He is in range of Imrahil, 12-inch banner for the Knights of Dol Amroth, but it's not enough to win the fight. So wounding on 6s, re-rolling, but doesn't need the re-roll. This is horrendous for the forces of good. Losing a lot of guys here, and then we have this 2-on-1, and that guy is going to shield. He has won it on fight value, so he pushes them back. That was a very, very nasty turn there, but it is not over. I don't think we did this fight. It's a 1-on-1. Archer on Archer goes to evil, but there is the banner, which doesn't help. So wounding on 5s, re-rolling. All failed wounds. No, he backs away. He is unaffected by the poisoned arrows and blades there. We then have these guys here. They are going after Imrahil. Now, they have both called a heroic strike. So the heroic strike roll off goes to evil. That is not good for Imrahil. We'll let Imrahil set the bar. On a 5, he's in banner range. So he is 5 high. He's got 2 points of might, so we can get it up to a 6. He is against 3 attacks from Suladen and 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks from the plebs. We'll do the normal guys first, and they get the 6. And with the higher fight value, there's no need for them to bother with any for Imrahil to bother with might. So we'll roll these attacks. We've got these 4 first. They are needing 6s, but re-rolling failed wounds. That's 1 wound. So these are the 3 re-rolls. Oh, that's 3 wounds. That is not good there. And then these are the rest of their attacks. So they all fail, but re-rolling failed wounds. No. But then it is the big bad himself, Suladan, who does no wounds, but it's all irrelevant because 3 wounds and no fate means that Imrahil is dead. That is not good at all for the forces of good. End of turn 3 and things are looking bleak for Gondor, but definitely not hopeless. The Betrayer, who is their target, only has 2 will remaining, and he loses a point of will every turn he's in combat. So they just need to tie him down for a couple of turns, and they could still win this. All to play for as we go into turn 4 priority. And it goes on a 3-1 to evil. With evil priority, Ingold is going to call a heroic move. It'll leave him with just 1 might left, but he needs to do something about this big gap in his force, and he needs to get as close to the Betrayer as possible to try and bring him down. So he is calling a heroic move, and the betrayer is countering. 1, 2 or 3 it's evil, 4+ it's good, and it's a 5. So Ingold's heroic move will go off first. End of the movement phase, and the Haradrim have just surrounded the forces of Minas Tirith and Fiefdoms. The Warriors of Good tried to form a line and they've been fairly successful, but the numbers are just too great. And the Betrayer, with just 2 will left, has fled. He's far enough away from the battle that there's going to be no real chance of Good catching up to him. However, there will be no Master of Poisons, so if they can survive long enough, they'll be able to redeem themselves and cut through some defence for Haradrim. First off though, as there's no shooting and we're into the combat phase already, it's heroic time, and Suladan is going to call a heroic combat. So Ingold is going to have to use his last point of might to call a heroic strike to avoid getting trapped and butchered. So the banner is going to shield. He's the green with -1, and then Suladan has 3 attacks and his banner is in his spear support rather is in purple. Suladan wins that on a 6, nice and easy. He is wounding on 5s, re-rolling 1s. He gets to re-roll the 1. Oh dear, does the spearman do it? Yes, on the 6, the heroic move goes off. That was very fortunate there. And Suladan is going to go after Ingold. Even though Ingold has struck, we'll find out what he struck to. Ooh, to fight 9. He is still going to get charged by Suladan. So we'll do this fight next. It's the 2-on-1, and the clansman has to 2-hand. He's only got a 2-handed weapon, but he's feeling good about it. He's feeling brave, but he has lost, and the banner has just been killed, so he can't banner up. So he backs away, and they need 5s to wound and kill him. He is dead, and they could have re-rolled the 1 as well. We then have this 1-on-1 here. It goes to good. Wounding on 5s. No. They don't kill the horseman or the zebraman, and he backs away. We'll then do this 3 on a trapped ranger. Oh, but the ranger wins on the 6, and he's got fight value, but he doesn't wound. So these chaps back away, but they are unharmed. We'll then do this 1-on-1. Evil win, but do not kill. And this time there's no re-rolling all failed wounds. We then come over here where things are very, very desperate. And we have 4-on-1. That ranger needs to get a 6 ideally, but he doesn't. However, Evil got 3 of them. That is not good there for the ranger. Wounding on 5s, re-rolling 1s, but they don't need it. They've got a 5 and a 6, and they've killed the ranger. We then have a 1-on-1 that's doable for Evil, for Good rather, and for Evil. So 1-on-1, it goes to Evil, wounding on 6s. No, the spearman backs away. We then have a trapped chap there, so he is going to shield. And it doesn't pay off for him, it's only a 4 high. So these are 4 attacks double to 8. Wounding on 6s but re-rolling 1s for poison. And they get the 6. That is absolutely horrendous for Good. Not many models remaining. If it was 25%, they'd nearly be there. Then the final fight is Ingold with the higher fight value, shielding against 2 and Suladan. So Suladan gets only a 4 high, and then his 2 friends get the 6s. So the pressure is on Ingold, but he gets the 6 as well and pushes Suladan and friends back. And that is the result that good needed. End of turn 4, and the forces of good are well and truly broken. So at the end of next turn, we'll start rolling to see if the game has ended. Let's roll though for next turn priority. It's a draw, so this time it swings across to the forces of good. With good priority, we'll start off with the courage test for Ingold. It's a 5 and a 3, he's absolutely loving it, and he is going to rally all of the guys around him and charge into combat. The forces of good have charged where they've been able, just trying to form walls and to tag the cavalry to stop that knockdown, and trying to stop as many of the guys as possible from piling in on Ingold. Could be too little too late, but that is the best that they could do. Now it's evil move. Nearly the end of the movement phase, and Ingold and co have been fully surrounded. Despite their best efforts at forming some semblance of a wall, they just didn't have the numbers. The Betrayer though is still to move, and he is going to move just to the edge of the bush there to put him within 12 inches of Ingold. He's only got 2 will left. If he loses both will, he will disappear. So he's just going to use 1 will on a black dart on Ingold. It goes off on a 6, so it's very unlikely, but he's going to go for it for max points. No, it's a 2. So nothing happens there. And then with the rest of his move, he just potters off over there to make sure he's miles away. And now he's completely unable to do anything without risking his own life. Combat everywhere is trapped really. We'll start here with this 3-on-1. He loses. He's going down on 5s. These are double strikes and he is dead. So they back away, but at least in dying, he has freed up some space for him, so he's no longer trapped for that 2-on-1. He loses, but he can back away, he's not trapped. So it's 5s to kill, re-rolling 1s, and he dies. That is brutal. It's then 3-on-1, and he is not going to bother shielding. He is just going to go for it. It doesn't pay off. He only gets a 2. He's going down on 6s and he's trapped. Nothing there. No, nothing, and no 1s to re-roll with poison. So they all back away. We then have this fight here. It's 5-on-1. And again, that guy's not going to bother shielding. It's going to make no difference at this stage. He loses. Does he die? 6s. Re-rolling 1s. No. And they're all doubled because he's trapped, and there is the 6. So they back away because they've trapped their opponent, and he is dead. It's then Ingold. Ingold's out of might, so he's going to shield and pray. He's fight 4, Suladan's fight 5, so Suladan doesn't need to strike. It's only a 5 high for Ingold, so he's against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and Suladan. So we'll roll the 6 first. They've got the 6. So we'll then roll them again. They are wounding on 6s, re-rolling 1, and there's 2 6s. They have killed Ingold. And at that point, with just 1 good model remaining, we'll call it a day. And that is the end of the game. After that brutal game, we've tallied up the scores, and it's quite obvious that the Haradrim have won. 5 victory points for killing Ingold, who was the assassination target. Not quite the full 7 because the Betrayer, the assassin, didn't get the killing blow. Then they also got 2 for killing the enemy leader, Imrahil, and 3 for breaking the enemy and being unbroken, which is a massive 10-0 victory to the Haradrim. As night falls, Suladan and the Betrayer secure new alliances by delivering the dead, cold body of Ingold to the Hashimi. I hope you enjoyed this game. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.